So we did a experiment, mini lab, whatever you want to call it, in class that was referred to as the penny isotope lab. And what we did is we had 1982 pennies, and let me tell you a little bit about 1982 pennies. So the government in 1982, or maybe just shortly before that, realized that pennies were actually costing more to make than it was worth actually getting for currency. So because it was made out of pure copper. So what they decided to do is to make an alloy. An alloy is a combination, a mixture of two metals that are physically combined. And so what they decided to do, instead of making pennies out of pure copper, they wanted to make it cheaper by alloying the copper with zinc metal, because zinc is more abundant and it's cheaper, and it's actually more durable as well. So that's what they decided to do. So in 1982, they started to make the alloyed penny as well as the pure copper penny. So they didn't just all of a sudden on January 1st of 1982 switch over 100% to the alloy. They gradually infused it throughout the year. So in 1982, when we see two 1982 pennies like this picture shows, I don't know what this means as far as small date versus large date, but so it might have something to do with the size even. I'm not really positive, but you can see that they are both 1982 pennies. But there are two different versions of 1982 pennies. And so one of them is made out of copper, and one pure copper, the one on the right here, and the one that is made out of zinc is on the left-hand side. So there were two different forms of 1982 pennies that were existing during that year, and still to this day when we see a 1982 penny. So because they are made out of different metals, of course, they have a slightly different physical properties. Their masses are a little bit different. So pure copper are a little bit heavier than the alloyed penny. So what the activity in class was to take 1982 pennies and count out 10 pennies. And from those 10 pennies, you would weigh the stack of those 10 pennies. So let's say that we had a total mass of 27.17 grams. And then I asked students to find the average mass. So to find the average, as you should, or you probably know, you take the total and divide by how many. So you take 27.17, divide by 10 pennies. So the average mass of each penny was then 2.72 grams, okay? Or you could just move that decimal over one, right? Because that's a factor of 10. So that's how we found the average mass of each penny in that stack, okay? So then the other task for students was to find the percent. Of those 10 pennies, what percent were the alloy penny? And then what percent were the pure copper penny? So counting up how many pennies belong to each category, let's just make some sample data here. So for the copper pennies, let's say that I had these four. Now again, remember what I said, the copper penny was a little bit heavier. So that's the way we are able to tell the difference between the copper versus the alloyed penny. So the copper penny all had masses right around 3 grams. Okay, so there were 4 of the 10 that were in that category. 6 out of the 10 had lower masses. You can see that the masses were all hovering right around 2.50 grams, okay? So a little bit above or below. So because there were 4 out of the 10 that were in the copper category, we can take that percentage of 4 divided by 10 and we get 40%. And then 6 out of 10 pennies fell into this range of the lighter mass. So 6 out of 10 is 60%. Okay, so that's what I had students do in class. Now, why does that all matter? What are we getting at? Well, atoms are very similar as well, and I'll explain that here on a different presentation. But what we can see is that our average mass, that 2.72 grams, is going to be influenced by the percentages of what we have in that stack. So the fact that we have two different masses of pennies, okay, we have copper pennies that have a higher mass, about 3 grams, and then we have the alloyed penny that has a lighter mass, about 2.5 grams. So if the percentage was exactly half and half, if it was 50-50, then the mass, the average mass, would be smack dab in the middle of these two masses, which would be 2.75 grams. Okay, so the fact that our average mass is 2.72 grams, and if we look at our percentages, which one do we have more of? We have more of the lighter or the alloyed penny. So we are falling closer to 2.50. So, and again, our average mass is 2.72. So that is on the lower end of what's halfway in the middle. So it's 2.72, which means that in our sample, in just our sample, we had more of the alloyed penny than we would have had of the copper penny. Okay, so had we not been able to calculate the percent, we would still be able to see this average mass and then be able to tell that because of the two masses that are available, that we must have more of the alloyed penny because it's closer to 2.5 than it is to 3. Okay, it's the same idea with, they used to say that people when they grew up were going to have they were going to get married, they were going to have a job, they were going to have a white picket fence, and they were going to have 1.8 children. Okay, well, you can't have 0.8 of a child, so it's either 1 child or 2 children. Well, if the average was 1.8, it was more likely for you to have 2 kids than only 1. Okay, so it's the exact same thing. What you're trying to do is see what's more likely. And when we're talking about atoms, atoms do this as well. There are different variations of the same type of atom, and we can tell which one is more abundant. So then this will go into the next set of notes that would be on atomic mass and isotopes.